Iowa Hawkeyes losing another player, not to the transfer portal, but to the NFL draft, as Iowa defensive lineman Lukas Van Ness officially declaring for the draft. This one caught me off guard a bit. It sounded like in early December, it sounded like Lukas was planning to return. And now here, early January, he officially declares for the NFL draft. I don't know how many snaps he got against Kentucky. It seemed like he got less snaps against Kentucky than you would expect a guy who's a potential first or second round draft pick. And that's what I continue to hear, that this kid has been graded out as a first or second round draft pick. He's a 6'5", 275-pound defensive lineman. He has not played more than 2 seasons, right? He played 2021, played 2022, but was a redshirt freshman last year. So he literally just now became eligible to declare for the NFL draft. So Lukas Van Ness, the Barrington, Illinois native, wasting no time. And if he got drafted, if he got rated that high, right? If he got rated as a first or second round draft pick, I don't blame him. I do find that a little hard to believe. I get that he has the body, right? His nickname is Hercules for a reason. But his stats in 2022 were somewhat pedestrian, and they went up from 2021. If you're comparing 2021 to 2022, in 21, he had 33 tackles, 7 sacks, and in 2022, he had 38 tackles, but just 6.5 sacks. So his numbers weren't really any better in 2022. Now, maybe he would reason that he didn't get enough playing time. I don't know that he was ever officially listed as a starter. He was no question one of Iowa's 2 or 3 best defensive linemen. As Kelvin Bell and Phil Parker have demonstrated, though, they want to have a plethora of linemen. And it also, when you have 8 or 9 guys you can turn to, it helps you to be able to withstand a blow like this. And it is a blow, because I expected Lukas Van Ness to be back next year. And, potentially running alongside a guy like Aaron Graves, who is a kid from Gowrie, who I'm really, really high on. I know a lot of people are really, really high on this kid. I think he was under-recruited because he committed to Iowa so early. He's a small-town Iowa kid. But I will say this, with Lukas Van Ness leading, that now opens the door for Aaron Graves to absolutely be a big-time player in his second year here at Iowa. He was a true freshman this year, made some big plays, including in the bowl game against Kentucky. And Joe Evans, having recently announced that he would be returning. We'll talk about that here in a future video. But with Evans back, with Van Ness leaving, I love the idea of seeing Evans, Craig, Graves, and Logan Lee. We'll see what Noah Shannon does. No official word from him. He is, of course, a senior. He's been here 5 years. He could come back for a 6th year. I doubt he does, but I don't know. I haven't spoken with Noah Shannon. I don't have connections to anybody in Noah Shannon's circle. But this one did surprise me a little bit, and best of wishes to Lukas Van Ness. If he gets drafted as high as it sounds like he's going to be drafted, that does help Iowa in the long run, because it will help recruiting with Jack Campbell, Riley Moss, Lukas Van Ness, all leaving. And of course, let's not forget about Sam Laporta, who I think will also be a fairly high draft pick. That's good publicity, good exposure for the Iowa program. This one feels a little different to me than probably any other early defensive line NFL draft declaration from Iowa that I can remember, just because there was a lot of hype around Lukas Van Ness, and I just never really saw a guy explode on the scene, unlike maybe an A.J. Epinesa, who was here for 3 years, but really exploded that 3rd year. Now, he did play as a true freshman. Lukas Van Ness did not. But it is what it is. Best of wishes to Lukas and his family. Him getting drafted high will help. I would rather him be a star in the NFL than a bust. No question about it. Wish him all the best. And by all accounts, good kid. Don't know anything bad about Lukas Van Ness. So best wishes to him. And Iowa will regroup. They've got a nice stable of defensive linemen. And Lukas Van Ness, does he project more as an interior guy or a guy on the outside? Probably an end in the NFL, but maybe somebody will tell me wrong. I'm not a draft expert, certainly not a scout. So we'll see. Appreciate you tuning in for another segment here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Stay tuned. More coverage right here for Hawkeye football, Hawkeye basketball, and more all year long right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm.